All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the Node Working Group session. We'll start off with a preamble and then have some updates. And it's a small session today, so if anyone has anything they'd like to discuss, please just shout it out then. Here's the preamble. The Node Working Group sessions are a time when members come together to discuss and collaborate with ecosystem partners in the Mina Foundation. Topics discussed generally include latest releases, node operations, excuse me, and other technical matters related to the protocol, although this is at the discretion of the Node Working Group. My name is John Robinson, and I'm the Community Operations Manager at the Mina Foundation. I'm here to support and facilitate these sessions, so please let me know if there's anything I can do to help. The meeting will be recorded and posted on YouTube, so if you don't want your face on there, please turn off your cameras. We'll start off today with Andrew. Updates, Andrew?
Yeah, hello everyone. So we actually have a variety of changes coming in that I think we're ready to release. For one, there should be a beta coming out later this afternoon with some of the most critical changes of the bunch from the last 6 weeks or so. One is to fix an edge case in Super Ketchup that would cause crashes. So we're trying to mitigate that as quickly as possible and get that out on mainnet, as well as some improvements to the uptime submitter client, which we also want people running on mainnet sooner rather than later so that we can start getting even better data on that front, as well as an update to the Docker entry point, which I just want to test more thoroughly, but I think a beta is sufficient. So that will be coming out today, and then we're going to be working on a little bit more experimental alpha release off of sort of the best of what we have from compatible over the last, I don't know how long it's been now, 6 or 7 weeks since the last release. So those should both come out this week. I think the beta will almost certainly be later today.
Great.
What are
the
the Docker changes, Andrew?
So just furthering on the changes that I made in the previous release to clean up the entry point, as well as removing the mina.log temporary file, because we were noticing in Kubernetes and various other environments when you will eventually run out of disk just by creating an infinite stream of logs into that file. And so we're removing that in favor of the existing like mina.log star, .0, .1, whatever rotated logs, and just outputting to the Docker, like outputting to standard out, and then you can rotate them in Docker or store them on your host machine or what have you. So that's the biggest change. But I'm also trying to just standardize how we pull environment variables in and how these different flows are used to make it easier to get it right on the first attempt, as opposed to the sort of issues that folks are having in Discord getting it set up when the change was originally made. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Is that mina.log going to go away for all or just under Docker?
It already doesn't exist in the Debian world. Like mina.log some number, like that exists for sure. Like, I mean, the one that Docker makes an additional file currently. Whatever you're dealing with in Debian is going to exist for everyone, including Docker, and it's still going to exist. Is that clear?
I think so. I just want to...
The Docker entry point script currently like tails a bunch of different things and then outputs them to a file in the home directory called mina.log.
Not under .mina-config.
Not the ones under mina config. The ones under mina config are already rotating properly, and we're going to keep them exactly as they are. Yeah.
And there will still be a mina.log there. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. The one that's called mina.log there is going to stay as well. Yes. Correct.
Good.
I'll resend the specific PR with those entry point changes into the Node Working Group channel, because I know you guys are at least following all of that. So.
Great, thanks, Andrew. So we don't have a lot of stuff today. So if anyone has any other questions or anything for Andrew, that's probably a good time to ask. Excuse me. Go ahead, Jonathan. You can just shout out, please.
Okay.
Feel free to just shout here.
So it may be premature because I haven't done much looking, but it still seems like there are occasions where I see simultaneous restarts on multiple distributed nodes. And I remember there was an old issue about that, but I just wonder if everybody else has been experiencing that and to what degree. I've noticed it maybe a couple of times in the last few months, like a couple of months. And I'm just wondering if that's been observed by others still.
So I will say that we did observe that more recently, and that's the motivator for that super catch-up edge case fix that I just discussed. So we found one of these
Doesn't that only
cases.
kick in when you're restarting though?
No,
isn't super catch up when you're bootstrapped?
not always.
Oh, okay.
But the point is, there's an edge case. There's an edge case for how we are catching up to a very particular sort of block that was causing, mass crashes from anyone who saw both of these blocks within a particular period of time. Maybe Nathan, do you want to speak more to the?
Is that a specific attack vector that's being used?
Not an attack. It seems random.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, seems a natural occurrence of like multiple block producers producing blocks in their slot. But yeah, it caused an end result bad behavior that would crash a variety of nodes.
Yeah, I guess to that point, I've already traced down one race condition, which I am pretty confident is a culprit of this. But we also, I've discussed with another engineer on the team some other steps that we can take to help eliminate other race conditions in the same part of the code. This is really sort of a category race condition we didn't see before because previously, due to the prior CPU performance issues, catch-up would run a lot slower and wouldn't produce these race conditions. And now that catch-up runs very quickly, there is a scenario where if you learn about a chain that you were missing and attempt to catch up to it and you quickly download those blocks, then it has the potential to crash your node. So we don't have any reason to believe that there is malicious behavior intended here, but already have one fix that has been merged in and is ready to go out in the next release, and are also working on trying to better bulletproof the system against these kind of errors in the future. And I'm hoping to have that in the upcoming release after this.
Thanks, Nathan.
Just curious, does that, I'm just trying to look at GitHub issues. I think we've seen a couple of different incidents. I just wonder if this is tied to either of those. So 9381 and 8738, I think. Are those, I don't know, 9381 is still open. Yeah, I wonder if that addresses either of those or if they're just old and need to be, they've like been handled magically in between.
I think 9381, I need to check, but I think 9381 is a different issue that has already been fixed. but I need
Okay.
to dive into the logs here to double check.
It seems to be happening less frequent than it was earlier. So, okay.
Is there an update for redeploying the Berkeley testnet? Seems to be pretty broken.
I think there was already a plan to redeploy potentially by the end of the week, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. I'm not tuned into that effort. There's a lot of work going into trying to get the archive node like properly working before we deploy again, just for the utility to all the folks who are testing on it now.
Does anyone else have anything they'd like to discuss now? If not, what I'd like to do is stop the recording, and if you could just stay around for a second after, I'd like to ask you guys a couple of questions. All right, well, we'll stop this now then if there's no other discussions, and if you could just hang around for a second, I do have a question for you guys, kind of unrelated to this. All right, everyone, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. I'll just stop the recording now here.